queen betrayed, a king obsessed, and a nation torn apart. In the 16th century, King Henry VIII's scandalous affair didn't just destroy his marriage, it shattered the Catholic Church's grip on England forever. This is the dramatic story of Queen Catherine, Henry VIII, and the scandal that shook the world. In the early 1500s, England was ruled by King Henry VIII, a young and handsome monarch with an insatiable appetite for power and legacy. By his side was Queen Catherine of Aragon, a deeply pious woman of noble Spanish blood. They were once a symbol of royal unity, but as the years passed, cracks in their marriage began to show. The most significant crack? Catherine's inability to provide Henry with a male heir. Their only surviving child, Mary, was not enough for Henry, who was desperate for a son to secure his dynasty. Enter Anne Boleyn, a beautiful, intelligent, and ambitious lady-in-waiting at court. Anne's charm captivated the king, but she wasn't like Henry's previous mistresses. She didn't want to be just another conquest. She wanted the crown itself. Anne made it clear she would not give herself to Henry unless she became his queen. This set the stage for one of the most dramatic betrayals in history. Catherine, a devout Catholic and beloved by the English people, refused to give up her crown or her husband without a fight. For years, she endured Henry's infidelity and the whispers about Anne Boleyn's growing influence at court. But Catherine's greatest challenge was yet to come. In 1527, Henry made his move. He declared that his marriage to Catherine was cursed by God, citing a biblical passage that claimed a man should not marry his brother's widow. Since Catherine had previously been married to Henry's older brother, Arthur, Henry claimed their union was invalid and demanded an annulment. But Catherine wasn't going down without a fight. She argued passionately, stating that her marriage to Arthur had never been consummated, and thus, her marriage to Henry was legitimate in the eyes of God. The Pope sided with Catherine, refusing to grant the annulment, which enraged Henry. For years, the king tried to have his marriage dissolved, but the Catholic Church stood firm. What started as a personal scandal soon spiraled into a political and religious war. Henry's obsession with Anne and his desperation for a male heir drove him to take drastic measures. In 1533, defying the Pope's authority, Henry declared himself the supreme head of the Church of England. This audacious move severed England's ties with the Catholic Church and created a new, independent religious institution, the Church of England, allowing Henry to finally annul his marriage to Catherine and marry Anne Boleyn. Catherine, now stripped of her title as queen, was sent away from court and forced to live in isolation. She never saw her daughter Mary again, and died in 1536, still declaring herself the rightful queen of England. Anne, meanwhile, ascended to the throne, but the cost of her ambition was high. Henry's split from the Catholic Church ignited a fierce religious divide in England that would last for generations. Despite all his efforts, Henry's marriage to Anne would not bring him the son he desperately craved. Anne gave birth to a daughter, Elizabeth, and the king's patience soon wore thin. Just 3 years after their marriage, Anne Boleyn was executed on charges of treason, adultery, and incest. Henry had her beheaded at the Tower of London, and less than 2 weeks later, he was already married to his next wife. The scandal of Queen Catherine and Henry VIII wasn't just a tale of a king's infidelity, it was a turning point in history. Henry's actions tore England from the Catholic Church, and his thirst for power and legacy left a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives. Catherine, once a beloved queen, died abandoned, while Anne's tragic rise and fall remain one of the most infamous stories in royal history. Was Henry VIII's obsession with Anne Boleyn worth the price of destroying his marriage and the Catholic Church's influence? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gripping tales of history's greatest scandals.